It seems like every company and corpo slot machine out there is just vying for your attention more and more every day. I know this is not a new topic. I've heard this same sentiment for over 10 years now. Each generation seems to have an upward battle that they have to go up against. But this time feels a bit different. I think the slot machines actually won this time. When is the last time you went outside and didn't see the majority of people glued to their phones? Fine, you're on a commuter train. You need some distraction to get to your job, but I've seen more and more people scrolling social media when they're with other people. Two people sitting across from each other, glued to their glowing rectangles. And hey, I'm no better. I have been there as well in waves. When I had social media on my phone, I would have to pull it out and scroll for a 30-second elevator ride to go downstairs of my condo. It was a natural reflex that I always had to reach for my phone whenever there was any downtime. If this is how we acted with other things, it would be classified as an addiction and bad and something that we need to correct. But for some reason, our addictions to our phone don't hold the same weight as the others do. Maybe it's because we're all doing it, so it doesn't seem like a bad thing if everyone's doing it together. Reading is what saved me from this zombie-like trance. I started reading off and on in my early 20s, but it didn't help as much as it does now. Back then, I was trying to optimize for almost everything. I was reading every self-help book on the market: Mastery, Late Bloomers, 30 Laws of Power. But with every book finished, I would just be clamming to find the one that would truly make a difference, something that would help me improve my life. This went on for a few years. I would switch back and forth from audiobooks and physical ones, but it always felt like a chore. I was doing it for work and for, to quote, improve myself, but nothing came from it. I never followed the habits that would make me better on an atomic level. I just read them to make myself feel like I was making progress with something. And that was my issue. I was reading to get something out of the text, not as a means to itself. After years of trying to get through as many self-help books as possible, I started leaning into some classics like The Great Gatsby, The Pearl by John Steinbeck, and others. And this is really where everything changed. I finally started to enjoy reading for the sake of reading. One book that really stuck with me was Post Office by Charles Bukowski. It's about a guy named Henry who works at a post office. He hates it. He drinks too much. He sleeps with the wrong women. He shows up hungover to work. He gets written up all the time. Nothing really happens in that book. He just works this job that's slowly killing him, and he writes about it. And the thing is, that was Bukowski's actual life. Henry was his alter ego. Bukowski worked at the post office for years. He was miserable. It's claimed that he wrote this book in 3 weeks after he finally quit at 49 years old. He wasn't making up a character to teach us a lesson. He was just writing down what his actual life had been. There are no takeaways in Post Office, no 5 steps to escape your dead-end job, no framework for finding your purpose in life. It's just a guy describing what it felt like to spend the best years of his life inside a building he hated, doing work that did not matter to him. And something about that hit me harder than any self-help book ever did. Because with self-help books, they're all promising something. Do these things and your life will change. Bukowski wasn't promising anything. He was just telling the truth about what most people's lives actually look like. And reading it, I didn't feel like I was being sold to. I felt like someone was finally being honest with me. This is what makes reading so special. You can connect with characters and find meaning that relate to your own life. Fiction is not going to tell you what you need to be doing. It's not going to give you the ultimate blueprint of leading a successful life. It just exists, and you can either engage with it or leave it aside and move on. And here's the thing I did not expect. Reading didn't just give me something to do. It changed what my brain wanted to do when I had nothing to do. That elevator ride that I was talking about, The 30-second ride where I reflexively pulled out my phone, that doesn't happen as much anymore. I'll stand there and just stand there. I'll wait in line at a grocery store and not reach for anything. I'll sit at a coffee shop and watch people walk by. I'll be on a train into town and just look out the window. I'm not doing this to sound enlightened. I still pick up my phone too much and scroll YouTube. But the constant pull, that twitching feeling like I needed to be consuming something every second of the day, that is the feeling that's mostly gone. And I think it's because reading gave my brain a different setting, a slower one where sitting with my own thoughts for a few minutes does not feel like torture. Phones really train you to need stimulation. Books train you, without it training you, to just be able to sit still with yourself. And once you can sit still, you start noticing things all around. So I started to take a small pocket notebook everywhere I go. Typically, this is just for to-do lists, ideas, or things that I need to remember. But sometimes I just jot down what's going on around me. And here's an example of what I wrote a few weeks ago about a coffee shop. I titled this entry, "Through the Cafe Window." A stream of endless traffic flow, forward and back. People hurry past the window with their heads down in their phones. The automatic doors slide open even when someone is a few feet away. Few come into the shop, but quickly leave with their coffee in hand, most likely on a journey of themselves. The sound of Thai fills the background. The workers slam their barista tools and laugh at one another. A small cat scurries by, malnutrition and most likely searching for their next meal. Old ladies smile as they waddle back and forth from their weight, shifting from side to side, holding a plastic bag with food from a street vendor around the corner. I finished my coffee and packed up and left. This is just a small example. What's going on around you? If you can just sit and be present, I think it's much more interesting than what you can find scrolling on your phone. I don't think that reading is some magic cure. I'm not telling you to throw your phone in the ocean and pick up Dostoevsky. I'm just saying that somewhere along the way, sitting with a book for an hour at a time taught my brain how to sit with anything for an hour at a time. A meal, a walk, just my own thoughts. And that turned out to be the thing that I actually needed. Not a system, not a framework, or the 5 hacks to live a more productive life. Just the ability to be somewhere without trying to escape it. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.